I'm Mike Randall.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Justin.
And we'd like to welcome you to the All Guts So Gory podcast. Born out of our love for horror films and numerous discussions about said films, we're going to take a deep dive into our favorites.
We'll be rotating hosts for each show, and that host will have picked the film we'll be breaking down, whether the other two like it or not. Probably not.
Another mission of our show is to build a horror hall of fame. Which heroes, villains, and final girls deserve entry? Which movie props deserve to be in there? And much more.
With that, let's let the listeners know a little bit about us. We're like onions. The more shows we do, we'll reveal a little bit more about ourselves as time goes on. In the interest of time, for this introduction, we'll keep it short and horror-related. So, Justin, let's start with you. In short, why do you like seeing young, attractive people getting chopped into pieces? Or is that too specific?
No, that's perfect. Why do I like horror and my relationship with it? As most children of the 80s, I was kind of a free-range child. I was watching things I shouldn't with no supervision. I think my first horror movie was Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was at an aunt's house, and no one was around. I would love to say I was not scared, but that would definitely be a lie. But instantly I was hooked on the feeling of controlled chaos, knowing that everything was going to be okay after watching the movie. Not going to lie, at first I had to watch like a cartoon or something after a horror movie so I'd be all right. But after that, it was just addicting, that feeling of, tense, and then all of a sudden lights are on and everything's good.
Charlie?
As a child of the 70s, no, my mom was really into horror movies. So when I was growing up, I remember the first horror movie double feature I saw, the first horror movies I saw, was at a drive-in. The first one was just all S's, about this guy turning into a snake, which, I saw it like 5 years ago. It was really bad.
It's a documentary, I think.
Right. And the second one was The Boy Who Cried Wolf. I cannot remember, like, this kid's dad turns into a werewolf or something crazy like that. I have not been able to find that one to rewatch it, but I'm sure it was equally as bad. I'm not really, I'm sure there's a lot of psychological stuff about why people like horror movies. Like, you're talking about the control of it, like you could just see it and then the lights come on and you're fine. But I don't know. I just like horror movies. Probably my favorite genre movie. I like all movies basically. But horror has just always been my thing.
Yeah, I kind of follow along more with Justin, whereas it was being at a cousin's house and having VHS tapes galore and having Child's Play 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street 4, some really random ones. It wasn't like the originals or any of the OGs, but some really random ones. Stephen King's It miniseries my aunt had. I definitely watched that VHS double tape probably about 30 times when I was way too young, but really enjoyed it. With horror, it's just we watch movies, I think, because we want to feel feelings. We want to feel experiences. And all genres of movie can do that for you depending on your mood. But for horror, there's no feeling like just seeing something that keeps you on the edge of your seat, keeps you wondering what's coming next. Something that makes you jump, something that makes you go, oh my God. Like, horror does that more than any other genre. Some other movies feel one way or another about it. With horror movies, you're most likely going to get some kind of scare. You're going to feel feelings. I think that's why we enjoy movies. So that's why I like horror so much. So with that, let's go around the room. Let's just give our listeners our top 4 Mount Rushmore, if you will. Your favorite 4 horror films. Justin, go ahead.
The directions for this actually said don't go too deep. So, like I tell my wife all the time, don't worry, baby, I won't go too deep.
Oh, my God.
So my,
you're going to hear about that later.
My 4.
She's like, oh, I'm not worried.
My 4, The Shining, super basic answer, I'm sure. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Don't ask, but it's my fave. The Thing and The Blair Witch.
Charlie?
We talked about this before we started recording. Like, my list, I'm looking at a list that I did 3 years ago, and it seriously needs updating. You know, there's always good horror movies coming out, but I would say like Dawn of the Dead, the original, probably The Exorcist somewhere, if not top 4, definitely in the top 10. I love the Evil Dead franchise. I'll go with the first Evil Dead. And for the last one, you know, I'm really into like comedy horror type stuff. I like Tremors.
Nice. For me, I mean, maybe it's pretty basic, but it's The Exorcist, which is, this is going to be a wide spectrum too. The Exorcist is the first movie that I think truly scared the crap out of me. I saw this when I was probably like 11, 12, 13. First movie to ever really scare the crap out of me. After that, I would say Jaws. People were scared to get in the water for days after seeing it, probably years after seeing it. So it's a perfect movie as well. So Jaws. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, just raw, dirty, gory. Love it. And The Thing as well. I think The Thing, just it's body horror. It is psychological horror. It's, you're stranded. It's got a lot of horror elements that check so many boxes. So The Thing for me. With that, The Thing was on 2 of our Mount Rushmores, Justin and myself. Charlie, I thought it was on yours, but I guess not.
It's up there. I mean, it is a solid, like you said, solid horror movie, front page to the last page, and it's just so rewatchable.
I think it's only fitting that we start on common ground. It's a movie we all love, we all enjoy. So the focus of our first episode of the All Guts So Gory podcast is going to be John Carpenter's The Thing. We're going to have a lot of fun, plenty of laughs on this podcast, sip a little bourbon while we do it. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you love any subgenre of horror films, discussion on theories about horror films, fun facts, rankings, debate, and much more, this is going to be a pod for you. Check out our first episode coming out soon, The Thing.